Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at Cohen's KY02. These are TWS true wireless buds, which sell for under 50 bucks. And it comes in a few different color options, including a pretty vibrant yellow, as well as a red edition, so it does give you more customization, which I always like to see. And they've made some pretty solid over-ear style active noise canceling Bluetooth headphones, which have been quite popular on Amazon for a number of years now. And these are some of their first TWS wireless buds that they're bringing out, continuing the legacy with value-oriented products. Anyways, in terms of the packaging, it is very simple, but inside of the box, we do get a few extra accessories, including a hard shell carrying case, which is kind of unusual because inside of this, we do have an additional battery case for the buds themselves. We've got some silicone tips for a more snug fit and also a USB Type-C charging cable, pretty typical stuff, as well as the user manual. So taking a closer look at the battery case here, we do have just the black edition. We can see that it does have a motion detection element of the design where you kind of pick it up or open and close the door and the buds will automatically turn on to life, which is kind of neat. It gives you a quick status of how much battery is left in the case. So out of 4 LEDs, each one represents 25%. Right now the battery here is half full. In terms of the battery life, by the way, the buds will last for 6 hours on a full charge, which is a little bit above average. And then with the battery case combined, you'll get around 36 hours when on the road, which is also pretty decent, longer than the regular AirPods and the Redmi AirDots. So pretty good there. On the very base here, we have the Type-C port for charging. I do wish that maybe it would have been put onto the side instead, because this means that when you're charging the case, it has to be lying flat. And there is also a reset key on the very back. As far as a quick size contrast, here it is next to, say, regular AirPods. You can see the case is a little bit chunkier, but overall, it's not too dramatic. Still is easy enough to slide into pockets and jeans. It's pretty similar, in fact, to the Redmi AirDots. Overall, a respectable size. Now, opening up the door here, we have the buds, which do have a pretty distinctive design because of their triangular shape, kind of sets it apart from the crowd and makes it look a little more interesting. They do rely on touch sensors, by the way, on the very top to play and pause and skip tracks and bring up the voice assistant. I found the controls to be pretty sensitive to my fingertips, didn't require much pressure, and were comfortable to activate. However, one feature that these are missing would be volume controls, so you can't turn it higher or lower unless you use the voice assistant or use your phone directly, which is a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Anyways, the buds themselves, again, begin pairing with your device pretty much the moment that you open up the door, which makes the process pretty fast. They have an IPX5 rating to them, so they will be splash proof and rain as well as sweat proof, so if you're taking these to the gym, they should still survive. The buds themselves do have a similar polycarbonate build as the casing itself, and overall feels pretty rigid, has a slightly ergonomic tilt onto the back, so they fit in very snugly into my ears at least. Otherwise, if we do a quick size comparison with some of those other buds that were aforementioned, here it is next to the regular AirPods, you can see that it's not too far off in terms of overall dimensions, so these are quite lightweight and small. Redmi AirDots, in fact, are even a little bit larger. When it comes to the audio quality and performance, the good news here is Cohen didn't disappoint. Just like with their other larger headphones, the sound quality here is very dynamic. It's full of life. Sometimes gives you the illusion that you're wearing headphones which are larger than these. Overall, you get plenty of bass here, so if you're a bass head, you'll definitely enjoy it as you listen to a drum beat. Lower frequencies do give you a bit of a shake and a bit of a punch, and never too out of balance with the mids or trebles either. Mids in particular are probably the strongest suit here, just like lots of other wireless buds we've seen. The graphene 6mm drivers do pack plenty of detail in that segment. When it comes to instrumentals, the plucks of a guitar or even a bass, you can really hear as that kind of resonates, and just it's a very satisfying, enveloping experience. At the same time, trebles still have plenty of detail. You can listen to textures of a singer's vocal, and it just sounds very impressive for something that's, again, in the budget segment. Certainly doesn't sound shrill or harsh, and overall still a relatively open sound, I'd say, for smaller buds. And also pretty good connectivity as well. In terms of the latency, I found them to be also about average. So you can listen to music, no issues at all, of course. The left and right sides are synced together quite well. There is easy mono to stereo mode switching if you just remove one side. And at the same time, you can also watch videos on YouTube, and the video and the audio are still synced together relatively well in my experience. However, there isn't a dedicated gaming mode, and these are still also using Realtek chips. So it supports codecs like SBC and AAC, but doesn't support Qualcomm's aptX. But for regular usage, media consumption, watching movies and listening to music, no issues at all. They're very clean sounding, so there's almost no hints of any static or hiss in the background, very clean, and playing and pausing the track again, everything stays connected quite well. Energetic and pleasant to listen to. In fact, these sound better, I think, than the Redmi AirDots as well as the regular AirPods when it comes to giving you just slightly more dynamic sound, more bass, as well as cleaner sound without much added noise apart from the music itself. But if anything, having volume controls I think would be even better. That's something that I would like to see added in through a software update or perhaps in a next gen model. But if you can live with that at the moment, I think these are definitely worth a closer look if you don't want to break the bank, but still consider sound quality to be one of your biggest priorities. So thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been our quick look at the Koen KY02